I brought you on to talk about your Patriots. There was a huge article in Sports Illustrated, or ESPN, I'm sorry, ESPN, the magazine, a huge article about how basically Deflategate, they were feeling, is payback for Spygate, because Spygate didn't go deep enough. And by the research of the magazine, they are saying that Spygate was a massive operation that Goodell helped cover up, that really went deep into stealing signals and signs of other teams. I was reading the article. If this is true, this is a bombshell article, and I'm not bringing it up because we don't, I'm bringing it up because I want to pay tribute to ESPN, the magazine, and their reporting, and it reminded me why we still need magazines and articles and the written word, because you can't do all that on television, really. And it just was a tremendous article, and we need things like that because this is investigative journalism at its greatest. And they've interviewed former players, former NFL execs, former coaches, and former Patriots coaches who have all spilled the beans here and basically said that we thought Spygate was like, at least I thought, I'm not going to speak for you guys, the Terrifics, I thought Spygate, and again, I'm not bringing this up to talk about negative things, to bash on the Patriots. I'm bringing this up to commend the reporting of ESPN, the magazine, and say we can never, stop doing journalism like this. And that is this. I look at this, and I thought that Spygate was okay. They videotaped a couple of practices, they got a couple of plays, they got some walkthrough stuff, no big deal. Maybe it was the Jets. It was Eric Mangini, former coach, who made a big stink about it. Really, how big a deal is it? When you look at it, when you look at what they're presenting, ESPN, the magazine, is saying that there was an entire tape library and archive. It was a conspiracy that included probably 25 people. They would hire players from other teams, which is legal, and then cut them after finding out if the signals they were stealing were correct. They would have their own video crews wear NFL Films t-shirts and credentials. They would cover up the Patriot stuff. They would wear Kraft production shirts for Kraft's production company, all sorts of other things to not be associated with the actual Patriots. And all they were assigned to do was shoot the signals from the other team's coaches. Completely illegal. They categorized it, kept an entire library, and then had a flow chart, allegedly, according to ESPN.com, or ESPN the magazine and ESPN.com. And it was really, really robust. And that's cheating. That's really cheating. And they should have been penalized harshly for it. It talks about how Goodell helped sweep it under the rug. He was only 18 months into his tenure when this happened, and he was basically Robert Kraft's boy because Robert Kraft helped install him as the commissioner. And now this was payback because, allegedly, that Deflategate was payback because the owners, the other owners felt that this was not right and that it was all swept under the rug. If this is true, it's a bombshell investigation. It's a bombshell article, and I got to tell you something, it's completely wrong. The Patriots should never have done any of this. Bill Belichick, if it's true, should be banned from football for life, not slapped on the wrist. He should get the same punishment Pete Rose gets in baseball. And it's a really interesting article. You got to check it out, ESPN.com. It's a really, really interesting article, and it's also in ESPN, the magazine. It was written for the magazine. And it really, really shows just how widespread Spygate was, and that it was a lot deeper than I think we realize, and that was purposely done. So I think that I agree with Digital Phil. He can't stand cheaters, and there's so much BS out there. I think when there's smoke, there's fire. We always believe that there's more to the story. I've always said that I believe 100% that Tom Brady deflated those footballs. Or had them deflated. I also said this was something that's probably practiced on many teams. I've also said that it's something that the NFL can get rid of and should rid the league of. And I also said that Brady should have been let off, which he was. And the reason why is because they had no evidence. They didn't do the right things to catch Brady in the act and the team in the act. And so for that reason, there should be no punishment, because I believe fully and wholeheartedly that you need to catch somebody and have evidence to come down on them. And I don't think they did the right things to do that. But I do think that Brady cheated. I do think he's cheated for a long time. And I do think that's wrong. But without the evidence, I don't think you can convict him of the crime. And so I think that, you look at Spygate, you look at Deflategate, and you say, you know what? This actually should tarnish the legacy. I think you should decide for yourself. You should read this great article on ESPN.com today and in ESPN, the magazine, and decide for yourself but at least be educated by what they have to say and by all the people that they've interviewed. And I would say this is why we need great journalism today still. And I want to give kudos to ESPN for putting this together and doing such a great job. And this was many years and many interviews that they've put together over the years. And some of them were done for television, for Outside the Lines and for other shows. And a lot of them were done just for this article. And I think that they're terrific. Now, the Patriots made some people available and others not available, including Bill Belichick was not available for the article. But I will tell you, it's a damning article. You definitely need to read it. And it's very, very shocking.